I think I figured it, Tony. It's got to be. I don't think there's any other option. Nissan goes on the swing arm.
Nissan goes on the fork guard.
Does it? Welcome to DocWob TV, episode 3000, I don't know. This is the final one with the Pichon Suzuki. I am bored of talking about it. The bike's getting on my nerves now. I just want it out of my life. So I thought we'd hold on till Danny was available to film, because we'd do a bit of a how-to sticking graphics on. So we've got a 20-year-old, is it 20? About 20-year-old set of stickers. So hopefully they stick. They're notorious for not sticking, but they are Technocell, so they should be good. So we've got set of graphics to show you. The bike's pretty much finished. A few nice little factory bits we've acquired since the last time I showed you. So I'll go through the bike. I had a nightmare with the tank. I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so today I'll show you the factory tank, which was more of a bitch to fit than you would possibly think, and how to fit graphics basically. Now, as a race team guy, you're fitting graphics every week, so it's a lot easier to fit the graphics with the bike bolted together, because they're not moving around. But what you'll find, if you are a race team mechanic, you will be occasions where you have to fit 5 or 10 sets of plastics up with graphics, because you know your schedule is going to be packed in certain weeks throughout the year. So you'll sit in front of the TV and you'll fit 10 sets of plastics, and so you have to do them on your lap. They're not bolted on. It's definitely a different skill, but it's a lot easier if they're on the bike. So we'll do it on the bike. But first off, factory tank, plastic tank, kind of a dark grey colour. The teams, they'd have had stock tanks, alley tanks for sand generally, oversized tanks. This one is an oversized plastic tank. It's got an oversized filler, believe it or not. I don't know why it's bigger. For some reason, these are 5mm, not 6. And there's a big extra part of the tank that goes up into the seat foam, which yesterday I was swearing like a docker, because I had to cut all the seat base about to make it fit. So that was, I'll show you that was hard work. Why grey? Because it's so thin and it's quite translucent. If it was in yellow, it would look like a second-hand KTM tank, I think. So that's the reason why they're that colour. Say the teams at any event would have had 2 or 3 riders with 3 or 4 options on different tanks to use. So you can see a picture and say it's not right, but trust me, this is a proper factory RM 250. Never saw these in the States, because part of the AMA production rule is they have to have production crankcases, production frame, production swing arm, production tank. So that's AMA, so you won't have seen these on any American bikes. So it's a European or Japanese factory part only. If I just show you what we did, and then we'll get into sticking some stickers on. So the production tank, as you can see, quite heavy, quite thick, so it should be for plastic, but it's very flat there. Factory tank, you've got the big lump that comes down from the seat mount all the way down to the tank strap. It's slightly oversized, probably holds a litre more than the production one, but the problem is I had to take all the seat apart and cut out this section and cut the foam away to match. I don't know if that tank should have had a factory seat or this is what they did in the team. But that's what you'd have had to run. You could not wash it with that seat on, because the foam will just absorb loads of water. So you'd have to be careful washing it in the future. But that's what you have to do to make it fit. It was turned an hour-long job into a 4-hour job yesterday. So you can imagine. So you don't need a ton of tools to fit graphics kits. I understand it's scary because they're not cheap, and you kind of got one attempt at it really. I know some people, they say stick them on with soapy water, but how the hell can't work, can it? But evidently it does, but I've never done that. So if you want to know the way that I found to do it, if you got a better way, I'm pleased for you. I don't care. Knock yourself out. This is the way that I've done it. I've done it for quite a few years. I've done thousands of graphics kits and I'm all right at it now. So what you need is basically a good solvent. This one's a Synthol contact cleaner. You can use paint thinner. Whatever you use, it's got to leave no residue. Now, if you use a white spirit, it'll leave a residue. Meths, that's all right. Stinky, but it works. Paint thinner, we buy by 25 litres at a time. That's what we use because we use industrial amounts of it. If we were to use aerosol cans on everything, it would get a bit horrendously expensive. But this is some good stuff, good shit. So we get it from Synthol. So even on new plastics, you're going to need to clean them. Everything needs to be spotlessly clean, no dust, no grease. So you've got dirty fingerprints, but what you don't realise is on new plastics, at the factory, they spray a release agent on the mould, so the plastic don't stick in the mould. So it's basically like spraying in your oven, like spray oil or whatever. They spray oil, it's called a release agent, on the mould. So when they open the mould, the plastic pops out. Well, that is greasy. So you've got to clean it. You don't stand much of a chance. So first job is a proper meticulous clean. We choose not to just spray it on the bike because it goes everywhere. Spray it on your rag, nice clean, lint-free towel. You don't be left all bits, don't use like loo roll or anything. And just give it a good clean. We leave the seat off because you're going to want to go over the lip here. We're going to have to remove these bolts once everything's lined up. And apart from that, the only tools you need is the sharpest knife in the world, modelling knife for trimming up. You're going to have to trim them, it's the way it is. And a heat gun's going to be your friend, believe me. Not a hairdryer, heat gun. Industrial heat gun, screw fix, whatever you got to do, go and get them. That's all you need to do. So let me show you how to stick a set of stickers on.
I'll get a shot of it.
So with this bike, we got some proper race team graphics made by Technocell back in the 90s. As you can see, they're old, so I'm hoping we can heat the death out of them, reactivate the glue and make them work. Be nothing worse than spending all this money and coming back to them and having them half peeled off, but it won't be the first time. So basically, lots of heat. Nearly melting heat, believe me. You got to get some activation into them. If it's a sunny day, same as with seat covers and tyres. Best way to do it, stick it on the dashboard of your car. That's the best, because that just gets heat into everything. But just get it so it's nicely pliable, malleable. Get some heat into the panel, basically to dry off any excess. And see if any little bits of dust. And you're going to need to peel back a corner, tear it off. Now, you line them up. So you line up the main body, line up the holes. So he needs to go. I see these have shrunk. You see the distance between that hole and that hole, they're not quite right. So I'm going to have to make the hole a bit bigger on the bottom one, I think. Don't know if you can see that. And then you just go around. So that's your position. You can then peel back your background. Don't try and do all of it, just try to do the main body of it first. Plenty of this again. You can't do enough heat, believe me. And just gently, just keep moving. If you go too big, you'll get air bubbles, 100%. I mean, you could still get air bubbles, but sometimes I've seen them put on. It looks like there's been a tin of beans underneath them. So you just have to just be patient and just go a little bit at a time. And then see where you're at. Yeah, we're looking good. boring as it is, this is how you do it. It's just a very slow burn. Don't go all the way to the edges yet. You're just doing your main body of your graphic first. You go back and do your edges after. So now that's all on, no bubbles. You go back, peel off your background. This is where you now need to try and line up the holes. Make sure your hands are super clean, because you don't want to be doing this with greasy fingerprints. So that's that lined up, so just gotta go up in the middle. God, I've done thousands of these. I'll still get nervous. As you should. It's different when you've got a pile of them and they're all the same and you make a mistake, you just throw it away. But when you've only got one and it's cost you hundreds, ain't so funny then. Again, just done that little bit, go back to this. Don't try and do it all in a one-er. It's going to be a problem. Back in the day, I think they were harder to fit because they used to have like metal holograms in them and all kinds of shit. You get the hole to line up. There's a bubble there. I mean, it's really hard to explain because a lot of it is just experience, unfortunately. I'm trying to help. You just got to work where it's, because the graphic's been sat in a flat state all its life. Now all of a sudden you're asking it to go into all these different shapes, which it doesn't want to do. So, more, you can't. Don't be scared to peel it back and have another little go. As long as it's warm, it'll be your friend. Start trying to do that shit cold, and it ain't so funny. These graphics, because they're 20 years old, they've kind of reacted a little bit to the glue, so they're not the smoothest, nicest finish, because Technocell were always benchmark, really. They were the graphics that the race teams used. They were really good. I used to stay at Technocell in '94 when I was working with Lyles, and he used to get like free one of the factory. It was quite cool. Vito, the guy who owned Technocell, was really cool. Like larger than life Italian guy. Super nice. Now, we need to get these 5mm screws, not like the normal production 6. That threw me a bit of a curveball yesterday as well. So the panel, the graphic's going to go around the outside edge of the panel. So just to make sure it sticks. Dull, I know, but very essential to get these stuck nicely. And these, the way they bend over stops your knees from ripping the graphics off, because it then gets bolted up. So they fold over to make a real nice edge when you're sat on the bike. That's nearly finished. The only thing I need to do now is take my uber sharp knife, and if your edge at the front is too close to the edge, which this isn't, it will peel off. So if something doesn't want to stick, just keep applying heat. So this hole is a little bit offset because that one's lined up. So you're going to do a bit of freehand, and this is, I'm afraid this is just experience. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody else, but I've done this plenty of times. Again, with everything, it's attention to detail. You screw this bit up, it's going to look awful. Let's get all the bits of glue off. And that is it. I know it's painful to watch, but that's how you stick a set of graphics on. Next job is the tank, which isn't that much fun either. Now on these bikes, the 90s bikes, they used to have a design into the seat, and the seat would have to match to the tank. So now, most importantly, you do this design so it all lines up rather than actual fits the tank. So, let's get that bolted back in. Oh no, it's not that one. But these are old, they're not very bendy. So next is side panel graphic. Luckily on these, they don't match up with the airbox. Usually they do, and you've got to go through the same pain as that. But this, you've got two datum points basically. You've got that and where the seat bolt goes on. The rest of the lineup, so you've got to do that. So what we do is we cut the background as a strip through the middle. And you peel that bit off. So you've got your middle, which is a ridge. Now this doesn't want to be stuck on this ridge. Worst bike ever to stick backgrounds on was the first 4-stroke Yamaha. Man, that side panel was like a football. It was hard work. These are not too bad. These are just all one direction, really. So you've got your two datum points you've got to worry about. The rest of it will just have to follow them. As long as you get them right, you know you're somewhere near. So you get your seat base where it's got to go. Oh, probably better off going down there first. So don't be scared to pull it off and have another go. And then you go right up the middle. Then you work from the middle out. So make sure the middle's done nice. Spitting graphics is probably the worst job you can do while somebody's watching you. And everybody's got different opinions of how to do it, and good for you. But the last thing you need is air bubbles and the stuff not lining up. And you're basically trying to get the graphic to stick to a shape that it doesn't want to go into. So you just got to keep working it. Now you see that's not particularly nice on the outline, which isn't the best, but it lines up most of it. And I'm half okay with a blade, so we should be all right. The quality of the graphics makes a difference. How old the graphics are makes a difference. Some graphics, if you heat them, they'll pull out of shape and then it looks terrible. Some graphics, if you heat them, they just get air bubbles. Oh, see, now I've got a massive, so we've got to start back to, we just started doing it and I've got a big crease. So you just keep working it. You can pull it back a couple of times. You don't want to be doing it too much. And again, on cheap graphics, if you do that, quite often you can leave the glue behind and you bollocks. You are knackered at that point. These are not the shiniest, nice finished graphics I've ever used because they've been in the packet just too long. So they're not really nice finish. That is not air bubbles. That is, in fact, that is an air bubble. So this panel bends this way, it bends away that way, and then it goes up that way. So by doing the center, you kind of give yourself a fighting chance. So, it's like an air bubble in the middle, it's nice, bugging me. So you're not far away, you're okay, that hole needs enlarging, and just this bottom line needs
Go on that.
So we just need to trim up this section there, because it's not uniform. It dips down and back up again. So have the blade so it's nice and long. That edge there isn't too bad, so pick up this corner and just in one hit follow the line of the plastic. You've got to do it again here. So just always have your hand on the inside of any arcs you need to make. You try to do them on the outside, it's going to be pain. As good as it's going to get. And get all the old glue off, but they've been sitting in a packet for a million years. And that's the two hardest bits. The rest of the stuff is sticking on stickers, really, if I'm honest. You don't want to watch me do the whole thing, do you? Cutting the foam, cutting the base. So while we're showing you what we're up to on the weekends, not weekends, weekdays, Tone's just finishing up the Pichon stickers. This is a Mark II version of our CR500 brake carrier. We've got a few little things to improve on it, we think, for our 240 rear disc. So the process means we do the drawing, we modify it, Mark then 3D prints the carrier, we can then bolt it back together and make sure all the tolerances are good. So that's where we're at the moment. We just got, so you can see our white plastic is, you wouldn't want to run your bike with it in, but it's, this is ticking all the boxes. So next process is get it to the CNC guys with the step file, and they'll make one, we'll run it, test it just to make sure. Not that the old one doesn't work, but we think we can make it better, so it's a constant update. So this one's looking really good. So that's it, Suzuki's finished. Sick and tired of the thing, get rid of it, send it back to its owner. The only thing we've got to do is billet fork feet, because the cast ones are just not factory enough. So we've got some billet fork feet. Mark's machined up the non-brake side, brake side's ready to go on, just with a little spacer. That'll look pretty. So that'll be done. Pichon bike's finished. Get paid, let's go.
And subscribe.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe, it really helps apparently.